Let's look at question 2.2. We still have the man that throws ball A downwards with a speed of 2 meters per second from the edge of a window, which is 45 meters above the ground or above the dam. 1 second later, a second ball B is thrown downwards, and both balls strike the water at the same time. Now, in this question, they want us to calculate the time it takes for ball B to hit the surface of the water. Now, since they want me to calculate the time for ball B, I decided to start with ball B. In this question, I'm not going to explain to you the shortest way to get to the answer. I'm going to show you how I thought going through the different steps. I think that might help you a bit more. So I started with ball B and have my step 1 where I write down X, initial velocity, final velocity, G, and T. Then I start looking for my obvious information. Okay, both ball A and B was thrown from the edge of the window down to the water, which is 45 meters. The distance is 45 meters. So I knew my displacement for ball B was 45 meters. But that was the only really obvious information about ball B that they gave me. The second thing, except of course the question, calculate the time it takes. So I knew I was looking for time. And then I started looking for the not so obvious information. And all I could find there is the gravitational force going down. Remember my direction that I chose in 2.1 is down again. And this presented me with a problem. Because in order to choose an equation of motion, I need 3 sets of information and something that I need to calculate. But in this question, I only have 2 things and something that I need to calculate. So then I realized this is not enough information, and I was a bit lost. Well, they gave me information on ball A as well. So I thought, let's see what we know about ball A and let's see if that brings us somewhere. So I started with ball A, wrote down my delta X, VI, VF, G, and T again, and look for the information. Now, luckily for ball A, there's a lot of obvious information. The displacement of the ball is going to be 45 meters because the distance between the dam and where the ball hits the water is 45 meters. The initial velocity of ball A is still 2 meters per second. And I have my not so obvious information that G is going down as 9.8 positive value. And then I thought and looked at this and said, this is all very nice. I've got 3 sets of information, but I have no idea what I need to calculate. Because my question states that I need to calculate the time it takes for ball B to hit the ground. So I need to calculate this time. And over here, I'm calculating the time of ball A. So I read my question again and looked at the information. And then I saw there's some more information that was given me. Both balls strike the surface at the same time, but ball A is thrown 1 second, or ball B is thrown 1 second after ball A. So then I realized, well, if I have all of this information and I calculate the time it took for ball A, that means I will be able to calculate the time for ball B as well, since ball B took 2 seconds, or he throws a second ball downward 1 second later. So therefore, I knew the thing that I needed to calculate was the time. So my final velocity does not play a role in this sum, which helps me to choose the equation that I'm going to use. I use this equation. I fill in all the values, make sure of your positives and negatives, which is associated with your directions. And then I use the maths. Can you see that this is actually a quadratic equation? You remember the formula minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a in order to calculate the squares. Now, in order to use this, I must first rewrite this equation as a quadratic equation like you do in maths. And remember, science is only applied maths. That's the reason why you do maths, so that you can speak science. So there I have my equation, and if I calculate my value of t in my calculation, I got that my time was equal to 2,83 seconds. Now, what time did I calculate? I calculated the time it took for ball A to reach the water. And ball B, I know, only was thrown 1 second later. So it took ball B a shorter time because it started later. It took ball B, therefore, 1,83 seconds to reach the water. If you couldn't get this one the first time, wait a day or so and try again and re-watch the video until you have developed the skill of thinking through these steps on your own. Thank you.